All right, guys, welcome back. Unbox them all dynamic duo. Pew 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 pew. It's Big D. Mini minis in school right now. I just wanted to come on here real quick and do a video talking about the Blooming Waters box at GameStop. I am all for one. Everybody getting their hustle on, grinding. Call them scalpers, whatever. What really made me sad as a new collector. And I grew up in the streets, doing what I had to do to survive and live, and I turned my life around. But when I saw a group of grown men at three different locations, now, mind you, they could be Pokemon collectors forever and a day, and I get it. But when I finally went to my third store and the line was semi normal, and the guy said, "Hey, I don't know how many I'm going to have," the store people were super cool. But what was frustrating for me as a father and as a newbie collector, especially coming in at the height of the craze for this upswing, was that the people that got the boxes, they were literally 4 to 6 deep in a car. So they went in, they came out, and they all got in the same car. Like literally 2.5 cars bought out the whole store. And what made me sad about it was that in the whole line, there was about 40 adults, varying from teenage, well, obviously, well, maybe they were ditching school, well into their 60s. There was one kid, couldn't have been more than 5 years old. He was there with his dad, and the dad was like, "Yeah, I just, it's something." He was playing Pokemon Go on his phone, and he's like, at this point, I just want to pack. Like, I don't care about the Blooming Waters. I just want to pack for my son to crack. And as you guys know, I'm doing the Nisi Binder Random Act of Kindness Challenge for Card Party Gen 3. And everybody heard this guy, because I was talking to the guy, and I was kind of loud about it, like, "Hey, there's only one kid in this whole line. Like, can we let them go in the front?" And I told the dad, like, "What are you trying to get?" He's like, "I'm just trying to get anything. Like anything." And it really made me sad that as a community, and here's the kicker, I just came off such a high of random acts of kindness yesterday through the same community. But I realized it today as I was sitting there that everybody did the random act of kindness, whether it was me doing one or one being done to my son. We were all parents. And like as a society, and this isn't nothing against the Pokemon community, because as a whole, 99% of us are freaking rock stars. And then you have that 1% who will go and beat up women and children at Costco or Target or grab everything off the shelf because there's a resale market for it. Like, I get it. Supply and demand are real. It's how capitalism is alive and well in the world. And I have no problem with it because I am one. Like, if I find something at a cheaper price and I know there's a market for it, then I'm going to buy it and flip it. It's just that simple. But when I realized that there's such a demand in the market, and this game was started for kids to interact, to be like, I'm going to post it in a video where my son was gifted the chase card that we're trying to find in Stellar Crown by Shane of Slim Rips. And it all started going back to Rips and Hits. Eric, we went there to pick up our mystery bag winnings, and just a series of events. And then I said, "Hey, no worries, buddy. You've been good to me and my family." He was like one of the first card shops other than Supreme that we went to, and he opened his arms, and we found him through Pat from Deep Pocket Monsters. Like, all these people we've met because my son, and prior to me allowing my son to watch Pat Flynn, like, I was very selective on who he could watch, because you get some of these PokeTubers who are like, rah, rah, rah. They're talking about spending thousands of dollars, and it gets in these kids' heads, and they get in the chase, and they get all hyped up. But look at me. Don't get me wrong. I make decent money, but I don't have a spending budget to buy thousands of dollars of merchandise so my son can rip. We do buy within, and every person on my Chasing Your Greatness series, that it starts today. And of course, the first person I talked to was Pat, and he gave me some words of wisdom. And I've interviewed several people in the community asking them three basic questions, like, do you consider yourself a collector or an investor? What's something that I can look forward to as a new enthusiast in the hobby, and what's something to look out for? And some of the questions branch off to other things. And all the people I've interviewed so far, without a shadow of a doubt, at some point in the conversation, have said, "Don't get in over your head. Don't get hyped on the chase. Have fun." But what I saw today, even with the people that were there with their fingers crossed, was a lot of those people weren't there for fun. They were there for the money. And I get it. Hobby collecting enthusiasts, there's huge, it's a multi-billion-dollar market. But when there's one kid, and I went to 3 stores, plus I had friends going to several stores in the outskirts of society. I'm talking about, like, normally they're surprised the GameStop is still open in 2025, top of how far out they are. And I went to 3. The mother of my kids, Pokemon 7774, went to 2, and there was not one kid in sight. It was all adults. There was one kid. I went to 3 stores in the matter of a few hours, and the first store, the line was around the building. Second store, the store manager was cool enough to come out and said, "Hey, I got 20 boxes." And the guy at the end of the line said, "Hey, I'm the last one, and I'm only getting 1." And I, of course, being a true hustler, I called the store first to make sure he wasn't blowing me off. And the guy was like, "Yeah, I've already turned 25 people's away." Then I went to the third store. The line was semi-decent. It was about 20-something people, and I was like right at the end of it. And they said that the guy hadn't come out telling the amount yet, but they heard there was 20 in that store. And the people in front of me was a dad and his son. And that was the only kid I saw in all 3 stores. The rest were grown men and a few women sprinkled in. And everybody was buying the store out. I had a friend of mine go at another store, and I don't know how the GameStop approved it, but 3 guys bought the whole store out. Like, they bought the Blooming Waters and they bought everything else out. Like, how is it that as a society, the game that was started for kids isn't allowing kids to collect? And I just started a Gigabinder challenge with my mini. It's going to be a family affair. It's going to be me, him, and Pokemon 7774. So we can do things together. And I told him today, like, look, son, the Pokemon craze is crazy. But what I want you to focus on is we're going to collect each generation and do the bulk. We're going to try to get the comments, and then we'll do special challenges to grab the hit cards. Because I see it as everybody's chasing the dollar sign in the hobby, at least the people who are buying out shelves of stores. That's making it almost impossible for a new enthusiast such as myself, or my kids, or other people's kids who are trying to get into the game because they've seen the cartoons or they've seen the video games, or their dad or their older brother passed down a collection. And I am not, like, look, I am not upset. Like, I'll tell you the truth. As a dad, I felt like I let my son down because I couldn't at least get 1 box. I actually stumbled on a box of an older set at a random store. And, like, the funny thing is, 5 years ago, I know for a fact this store would not have had Pokemon. And I found the 1 pack, and it was a display model. This store is so random to have Pokemon. They had an empty carton, and I was like, "Oh, they have one." And I grabbed it. I didn't grab it. I picked it up. And then I noticed it was empty, and on top it said, "Please see associate for box." And I found an associate, and I said, "Hey, do you guys still have this?" It was on the floor. And she goes, "Yeah, we have one. It's behind the counter." I said, "Can you please hold it for me?" I was actually going to that store for something else, to do a random act for my kids, a random act of kindness for my kids. Because, once again, going back to the day before, Shane blessed me and my son with the prismatic posters. And my son he's all in on the Pokemon, and I'm going to put it in a frame for him. So I was at this store to buy a frame that, in logical sense, there's no reason to be carrying Pokemon, but everybody knows there's money in the business. And I'm not mad at the business. I understand business is business. But when you got big box stores buying huge allotments because they know they can make money on it, the true card stores, the true people who are in it for the love of the hobby are getting smaller and smaller allotments, and then they're having to raise their price because it becomes about, well, the box, like an ETB, MRSP, or whatever it's called, I'm still learning the lingo is like $50, $60, but as like Blooming Waters dropped at Costco at $45, they were going for $200-$300. Blooming Waters at GameStop was going to be $65 plus if you're a pro member is 55 or 59. Literally, the store opens at 10 o'clock at my house. Right, like 5 minutes after, they were online for $300. Like, I get you want to make a profit, but when you're marking it up that much, like, are you really, like, I understand why there's such venom towards people that towards scalping. Like, even if you're hustling, like, there's a difference between making a few bucks and when you're raping the people you're trying to make money off of. And yes, I know that's a very harsh word, but that's the truth, man. Like, there's a difference between making a profit and when you are gouging someone to the point where you know that they want something so bad, they're willing to give more than they can afford. Like, that's not good for any community, let alone a community that's based on interacting with people, getting people out of their comfort zone. Like, some of the coolest people I've met in the world, especially in the last 18 months as I've gone through some big changes in my life, have been in this community. Pat, Eric from Rippin' Hits, Shane, the boys at KCM, the boys at High Rollers, Terry. Like, I've met some really cool people. My guys at Rizzo Sports, my home store, woo woo, mad shout out to my Pat and the boys out there. Like, these guys have seen that I have no idea what's going on in this community. I don't even know how to pronounce some of the Pokemon. But I show up, I meet my son where he's at, and yeah, they're like, well, you got a logo, you got a flag and a banner. Well, because I'm a hustler. Like, I understand I'm building a brand for my son to pass on to him. And, you know, and he's in elementary, and they asked him, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a content creator so I can travel the world and talk about Pokemon and video games. And one thing, you know, say what you will say about the Logan brothers, but I watched a podcast with them, and they talked about their dad when they were young, gave them a camera so they can record their sporting events so they can get better and look like their practices and say, oh, this is what I did, this is what I did. And they turned it into this multi-million/billion empire because their parents believed in them and didn't shut them down and say, oh, that's crazy, you can't do that. Like, you know what? If my son wants to be a content creator, then I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that he has every opportunity to succeed. Because even if he fails, he's going to fail chasing his dream. And I know this is a rant, but it was really sad. Like I said, I went to 3 stores. I saw one child. And no one in that line thought, you know what? There's one kid here. Like, this game is made for kids. And yes, we all enjoy it. We all have fun going after the chase. And yeah, if we hit that big car, woohoo! But that one kid just wanted to open one pack. And the first 10 people in line bought everything out. Like, I get it. Okay, you want to get the Blooming Waters, you want to flip them, whatever, you want to break them up and sell the packs at 10 bucks. Okay, but why don't you leave all the smaller off, you know, the other packs there for the other people in line so they get the thrill of opening a pack. I met a young lady, she's a content creator too, and I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's like, yeah, I just like ripping them. And, you know, I show people my hits. I like the pretty cards. I get it. Like, I like the pretty cards too. If they sparkle, I'm like, ooh. So if this doesn't pertain to you, if it don't apply, let it fly. If you are a quote unquote scalper, man, all I'm asking, like, I get it. You're trying to make money. I understand there's a high demand, so the supply is limited. Make as much money as you can, but leave something for the kids, man. Really, leave something for the kids. Because think about it this way. If you're a parent, like I felt today, I just wanted one box, and hell, at the end, I just wanted a pack so my son could open something when he came home today, because he wanted to go with me. And normally, I camp out the night before if I really want something. Like, I'm that type of guy. And I'm not talking about buying out the whole shelf. Like, when he got his Xbox Series X, I was second in line, and I was supposed to be first, and I let someone go in front of me as a random act of kindness. I'm that guy who will sleep in the street overnight to make sure that my kids get what they want, because I feel like that's just what you're supposed to do as a parent. But even if I was the first person in line, I'm not going to buy everything out on the shelf, because I understand there's a dad or a mom behind me who's trying to surprise their kid for that Christmas gift or that great grades. Like, my son, All my kids did well in school. My youngest son is on the school board. He's a leader. He works hard. He gets good grades. And he's just trying to be the best person because he believes that a random act of kindness will change the world. And if he is the only one that believes that motto, then I've done my job as a parent and I've completed my definitive purpose. And I really had to come on here and get this off my chest because I love this community. The people that I call friends that are quickly becoming family, Eric, his son Ethan, his son Felix, Shane, my boy Shane, man. Yesterday he did something so epic. I got your six, brother. I don't care if you call me at 2 a.m. and say, hey, I need a ride. I will drive wherever you're at and pick you up, brother. I got you. And that's not even before you told me your story and your background. The fact that you did what you did for my son yesterday, you will forever be part of my core 5. And it's people like that that give me hope for the future, that give me hope that this mantra that came to me 2 days after October 1st, when I was sitting in the parking lot crying, trying to comprehend what I just went through, that there's hope in the world. There is real hope in the world that we are going to change the world through random acts of kindness. But what I saw today, the height of the craze, and I understand there's ebbs and flows, and we're on the height of the high, and the crash is coming. Like, for everybody who's buying stocks and sitting on it, unless you can sit till the next wave comes, if you don't sell soon, you're going to crash and lose everything. It's just like the housing market. They were giving out loans left and right, and then it crashed, and everybody was, ah! I'm saying this because I went on a rant because I really felt for, like, look, I text my son, hey, buddy, I tried 3 stores. We struck out. And I'm glad that we're starting on the older sets to do our master sets because they're easier to come across as far as the bulk and even the rares and stuff because people have collected them and sold them and, you know, there's room to wiggle. But like these new sets, it's crazy, man. And the sets are getting even more and more crazy. Like, I'm just telling you guys, as a dad, hear me out. Understand that there's kids out there who they're saving their lunch money, their paper route money, they're doing recyclables because they're just trying to get 1 pack. And as an adult, we're buying everything on the shelf because we're trying to flip it and make money. Like, is money that important to you that you're willing to devastate a kid? Like, come on, man. Like, for real, like, what is it? Like, I understand we all got to live. We all got to feed our kids. We all got to pay the bills. But leave a pack on the shelf for the kids sitting behind you. Like, for real. If you really, really, really do love the hobby and you're not just scalping for money, leave a pack behind. Like, you know what's funny? I saw PokeRev, right? And yeah, I don't know these guys other than when I follow their channels. But PokeRev went on this hunt a couple of weeks ago for prismatic, right? And he happened to go to a Target and caught the lady as soon as they were restocking. And he was posting about it, and he didn't buy any prismatic because he's like, dude, I get them delivered, from Pokemon, I guess. I don't know, I don't know how it works, but they always seem to get the packs either right when they drop or whatever. They have a connection. But he didn't, like, he saw this little mini binder thing. He's like, I've never seen these. Let me get 2 of those. And as he went to other stores, he told people, hey, man, they just got to drop across the street. That's what I'm talking about, man. If you already got your packs or you already finished your master and you're buying to flip, you don't need to buy 15 boxes to do a flip. Remember, there's a 9-year-old kid who's counting pennies and begging his parents for his birthday, can I please get a Blooming Waters box? Can I please get a Prismatic? That's all I want. And you're taking every single one off the shelf because you're being greedy. 100%, man. Like, I'm not, look. You know, a lot of people say the love of money, the root of money, or the root of evil is the love of money, or something like that. And it's not the correct Bible verse, not the Bible thump, is that it's the love of money. It's the love of money. It's not money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money. And especially in today's age, when there's so much chaos in the world, if you could truly just have love for your fellow collector. And I'm not saying don't go hunt and don't get your flip on. I'm not saying all that. I'm saying, do you really need to buy out the whole store? Like, is that what's so important to you? Like, I know the tagline is collect them all, but Jesus, what about the guy who's just getting started in the hobby like myself? What about the parent who's working a double shift so they can afford to buy your $300 ETB box because you know that's what you can get? Like, I have a guy that I met in this community who has a direct line, right? And God bless his heart, because I said, bro, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like, I can't get these new boxes. He's like, I got you. He's just pay for my time. And yeah, there's a little bit of markup. And the other day, he's like, no, I got you. Like, if it's for mini, I got you. Like, that's what I'm talking about, man. And the guy, and he's a businessman. He makes a little bit of money on top. And you know what his motto is? I just want to rip for free from my kids. That's all I want. I want to be able to rip with my kids. And my granddaughter's getting into it. You know, my grandson, when he gets old enough, he likes the cards, but he hasn't got to collect. Like, go back to yesterday, right? At the end of the day, you got to watch the video. It's going to be like the greatest adventure of Random Acts of Kindness, right? And it tells you about our journey. But at the end of the day, as we're driving home from San Diego, I said, hey, buddy, did you have a good day? And it was cool that with the Random Act of Kindness that ended it. And he goes, Dad, that was cool, but I just like making core memories with you. And that's what this hobby's about for me. Making core memories with my kids. Making core memories with my new friends. Making core memories with like-minded people who are in it for the thrill of the chase. If I can make a few bucks later on in life, great. But that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I love the smile on my son's face when he pulls his favorite character. I love the smile on a kid's face when we do a random act of kindness and give them a pack. I love the smile on one of the people that I admire in the community and say, hey, can I talk to you about chasing your greatness? And let me hear your stories. That's why I'm a part of this hobby. That's why I'm trying to change the world through random acts of kindness in this hobby. And if you're collecting for the money, I get it. I understand it. All I'm saying is for the love of anything that you value. Remember, there's other people who are trying to collect for their kids, they're trying to relive. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up poor. I didn't understand I was poor until I got older because I thought everybody paid with funny money and got that one block of cheese twice a month. And you had to buy your winter clothes in summer clothes in winter, and don't gain weight. Like, I didn't understand about welfare or Section 8 or any of that. But I just knew that when my mom got me something special on my Christmas or birthday wish, like, I cherished it. There's people that are trying to do that for their kids that are living check to check. And when you post your markup, you know, an ETB box that normally comes out 50, 60 bucks to 300, 400, 500. And I understand some of the rarer stuff, like, what's that guy's name? Pokevault or Vault Pokey. I can't, he did this legendary pack. The box is like $200,000. But like, there's only so many left in the world. I get that. I get that. There's rarity in that. I'm talking about the sets that just dropped today. Like, you guys are selling them for $300, $400, $500 because you can. And I get it. You got to make $1, but like, you're literally pricing out 99% of the community who are just collecting because they love to collect. That's my rant. Hopefully you guys understand where I come from. For everybody that got their boxes, I'm happy for you. I hope you guys get some major hits. I'm known as Mr. Bulk Man. If you don't want the bulk, send it my way. I will take care of it. We donate them to orphanages and foster kids. We have a couple other people that we donate through. Plus, I'm working on my Gigabinder. I'm willing to trade. If you guys want to follow me on my Random Act of Kindness binder, Nisi is her nickname for Card Party Gen 3. Hit up the like, follow, subscribe button. If you guys are here 25 minutes later, we're doing a special giveaway when we hit 100 followers. I just appreciate everybody, man. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. It's priceless, it's free, and I promise you, a random act of kindness will change the world. I'm living proof of it.